Beginnings. Baseball. I loved baseball as a kid. Duke Snider of the Los Angeles Dodgers was my hero. I remember being a bat boy for the Little League team that my dad coached, the Dodgers. I pestered him for a uniform until I got one. I was the only bat boy in the league that had a uniform. When I was old enough, I got to play. I lived for those seasons when I played Little League. I played until the last year I was eligible for Little League. The next year, I would have gone into the Babe Ruth division. Why didn't I continue? Well, I kind of sucked at baseball. I thought I was wonderful. I was told that I was a utility player. I found out later that I wasn't good enough for any one position. I was put wherever I was needed. I have a sneaking suspicion that I was put where I would do the least damage. I wanted to be a pitcher. I even got to pitch my last game in Little League. Our lead pitcher and best hitter was Gordon Gadbois. He was on vacation, and we were near the cellar in the ratings, so our coach let me pitch. We beat the other team 15-5. One thing that I did know was that I choked at the plate when at bat in a game. In practice, I was fine, but in the game, I absolutely knew the ball was going to hit me in the head or the ribs. Looking back on it, how fast could a Little Leaguer's fastball be? Not that fast. I wouldn't be surprised if my teeth chattered and knees knocked when in the batting square. Why is this of any importance to my martial arts career? If I hadn't sucked at baseball, I would have continued. Instead, I found out that I was not going to have any kind of career in baseball, so I drifted through life until I started out as a child. I always loved that Bill Cosby line. I suppose the first place to start is when I was a 14-year-old kid. I was in Civil Air Patrol, which is an auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force. We did a lot such as learning about airplanes, marching in formation, flight patterns, marching in patterns, how to address and salute superior officers, and more marching. We did a lot of marching. There was a captain in the CAP, Civil Air Patrol, and his name was Dave Starkey. I found out from some of the guys that Dave actually did karate and had a blue belt. I thought this was really cool. A real live karate guy. The only thing I knew about karate at the time was watching James Coburn in the Our Man Flint movies, and then later when Bruce Lee came out on the scene starring as Kato in the Green Hornet television series. My first class, turning point in my life, number 1. I asked Dave about where and when the classes were. He told me that he was training at the Marshall Recreation Center in Vancouver, Washington, where I lived. And if I came, he would introduce me to the teacher. So I begged, pleaded, cajoled, and whatever else I could do to get my mother to allow me to go to the free class. She finally gave in and said that she would take me to my first class. That was on my 14th birthday, November 18, 1966. I was excited beyond belief. I arrived to the class at the time I thought Dave told me. 7 p.m. I found out upon entering the class that this was the advanced class, not the beginner's class. Oh no, my class was over. The instructor, Lauren Christensen, must have taken pity on me because he picked one of the students, Tony Leonetti, to come over and teach me my first class off to the side. Well, if I was excited before, I was in ecstasy now. Tony Leonetti taught me how to do such secret moves as the straight punch, the down block, the rising block, climbing form, which is the Zenkutsu Dachi forward stance, and the front kick. Wow, karate kicking, just like in the movies. It was the front kick that ripped the seat of my pants. I didn't care. This is how excited I was. This was nothing but fun. For all you history buffs, Tony Leonetti was my very first teacher. That night I went home and told my mom what I wanted for my birthday. Karate lessons. I was struck by lightning. I didn't find out until many years later that she thought that this was going to be a 6-month fad and that I'd fade out and do something else. Well, 57 years later, here I am with the same fad. Different pair of pants.